Hello and welcome everyone to the College Chess Podcast, Season 5, Episode 4, brought to you by Susquehanna. My name's Joe, and I'm joined by our amazing guest. This is none other than Grandmaster Robby Kevlishvili, the captain of the SLU team. Robby, welcome.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me.
Where do I even begin, Robby? You guys just came off a crushing victory last weekend against rivals, University of Missouri, in the Collegiate Chess League finals. So you guys regained your throne. How does it feel?
Feels great, especially after we lost to them last season. Felt good to have some revenge, and especially in such a dominant fashion. I think we were also not expecting it to be, by that big of a margin, but the team performed well, and it's good to see that training pays off.
Yeah, so walk us through a little bit about kind of the history here. This is kind of a long time building up this sort of rivalry. Obviously, you guys had won the 3 years or 3 seasons in a row prior to that, and you guys just lost your top two boards, Theodoro and Benjamin Bach, who's been a major commentator and a big part of that team, as well as the captain. And Mizzou had just gained Ariantari that season. So what was that like going in as your first season really as the main captain?
Yeah, to be honest, uh, we were kind of just trying out the season, seeing how the team would perform because, as you said, with Nicholas Theodoro and Benjamin Bach and myself, we had like three players who were consistently over 3,000 rated on chess.com. And I feel like we were basically the favorite in every single match. Because, even if one of us had an off day, two of the two others could definitely do the carrying. And even our board four, Butsurin, also Grandmaster, also very strong, very underrated blitz player. He did very well and he did his job. But losing the top two boards and then all of a sudden we have two, we get reinforced with two very strong players as well. Grandmaster Nika Kacharava and Shelev Oberoi, also a very good blitz player. But it's definitely there. It was definitely big shoes to fill, and it doesn't really matter too much. We did really well. I would have still considered ourselves the favorites, but sometimes it doesn't go your way, and it was a very tight match. Didn't go our way, and that's fine.
Yeah, and so now after that defeat, you were coming into this is your last season, Red Slew, right?
Correct.
So how nervous were you to try and come back and regain that title? You guys obviously had two major pickups between the seasons in Aryan Chopra and Victor Gajic. Can you walk us through that experience?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm still close with Benjamin. We're both from the Netherlands, and of course he follows the Collegiate Chess League very closely, and he's still in St. Louis. So I was quite nervous that he would like forever hold this above me. Where in his last season as the captain, he was he won CCL and I didn't. So I was very happy to get the reinforcements from Arjen Chopra, Victor Gazic, and also Emino Hanya. Um, so yeah, especially with that very blitz focused lineup, and just strong players in general. No doubt in my mind that we were the favorites. And with Mizzou, I feel like they kind of they did get Ariantari, who's very strong, of course, but they lost Grigory Oparin. So I feel like that sort of stayed the same, while we definitely had a very big increase in not not specifically better chess players, but also more versed in blitz chess. So yeah, and as you can see, we went undefeated this season. Uh, Good to see. Not the cleanest matches along the way, but it was still good.
Yeah, it was actually very close in that semifinals match. How nervous were you in like round four and overtime?
Yeah, it's funny because I think historically the SLU CCL team does very badly against UTRGV, who we played in the semis. And also, if I'm always surprised that they don't do better in CCL than they do because their lineup is very good. Three GMs and a strong IM who are all over 2,800 on chess.com and are just in general very good blitz players. I think they're just kind of unlucky, which also happened in our match. But yeah, I was very nervous because you can kind of tell when the team as a in general is not doing quite well, and then you see that everybody is kind of underperforming. But luckily, we got through it, and we were clutch when we needed to be. And at the end of the day, you kind of just still play your own game, and it's kind of nice that you can't see your teammates' games. Kind of annoying sometimes, but it also kind of helps where you just play your game, you try to win, and then you see, and that's it.
Yeah, so obviously Victor Gajic is a big part of your success this season, and he's actually a transfer from UT Rio Grande. And I wanted to ask, is that kind of rare to have a mid-school year transfer like that? Because I figured the recruitment process would start kind of during the summer or off season.
Yeah, I mean, so I joined SLU in 2019, and I believe this is the first time I've ever seen anything like that. I guess it just has something to do with him being a master student, and I guess unlike in undergrad where you specifically join in the fall, some programs take like 3 semesters instead of four, so he could. I guess it just worked out that way. But yeah, definitely a big part, and also the first time I've seen anything like it. But I'm not complaining.
And then was it a similar situation as Aryan Chopra or Amin?
They are both starting their undergrad. I think I'm not completely sure, but I thought they were planning on coming earlier. But stuff happens, and they are still very avid chess players, which is good about what draws a lot of people to the US is the fact that they can still play a lot of chess. So I guess they were just prioritizing their chess tournaments in the beginning. So it's fine if they wanted to come a semester later. No issue.
Okay, and I think you guys are going to have a rematch against UT Rio Grande this weekend at the President's Cup, some over the board chess. This is the U.S. Chess Federation College Team Championship. Tell us a little bit about that match coming up. Obviously, you guys have Victor Gajic now, but I heard that he actually can't play this weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, so the same teams that we use in Pan Am's, we have to use the same team in the Final Four. Maybe we should probably clarify the whole reason that there are even scholarships in the US at universities is for teams to qualify to the Final Four through the Pan American Championship that happened last January. And you have to finish in the top four. Top four qualifies to the national championships, aka the President's Cup or Final Four or whatever. Um, so yeah, the whole goal is to win this. That's the whole reason we're all getting scholarships. And yeah, so the teams this year is going to be SLU, Webster, who's generally very strong. I would say maybe the favorites this year, apart from us, of course. Then UTD and UTRGV, who are all schools with strong history in collegiate chess and Final Four. So it's going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be very closely matched up, and I think our first match against UTRGV, unless that changed now, maybe UTD. But yeah,
Yeah, I'll
it's
have
gonna be
to.
fun.
I could look it up, but I'll be joining you. I'll be traveling out tomorrow to Dallas, where it's being hosted by UT Dallas, and I'm gonna be giving the commentary for that on the Collegiate Chess League channel. So I hope to see everyone there. We'll be rooting for you, Robbie. I do think that it's gonna be very exciting. I'm actually kind of surprised a little bit at the Pan Am results. I actually looked and wanted to check why maybe a team like Mizzou didn't make it. And I believe in their last round they drew against Yale.
Hmm. Yeah. So the thing with the Pan Ams is it's only 6 rounds. So sometimes you're just a bit unlucky with the pairings. And also what happened this year is, usually we have like the 5 or 6 main schools. But this year we all of a sudden had Stanford bring out a very strong team and Yale, U Chicago has been coming up recently with a Wonder on board one. So there are just a lot more teams that you can like lose points against, and not to say anything bad about any other teams, but we were paired against Stanford B in the last round. We won 4-0. It helped our tie breaks. We dodged a team like Yale that's very strong, a team like Stanford that almost qualified by themselves. So yeah, sometimes the pairings just go your way, and sometimes they don't. It happened to us in the past too. We haven't qualified every single year too. It happens.
So you mentioned starting SLU at 2019. How many Pan Ams have you played in?
Yeah, so I played the. I missed. I so this. I think I've played five because I missed one during COVID year when it was held online. I didn't play because I was playing classical tournament instead.
Okay. So out of that many Pan Ams, how many Final Fours have you played in?
Yeah, so we have qualified to the Final Four every single year except for one in 2023. We won the Pan Am's one time, 2022, and then we also won Final Four in 2022. Uh, I played the Final Four in 2022, which we won. 2023, where we finished second, and now 2025. I misspoke. We missed the 2024 one, not the 2023 one.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And interestingly, mentioning Yale, I saw that they actually released a social media post on Instagram where their chess club was able to collaborate with Yale's main school account, which has over 800,000 followers, and it was highlighting their two grandmasters, Nicholas Cheka and um,
Parker Guo, yeah, I saw.
yeah. Do you think maybe St. Louis would make a post like that if you guys collaborated with them?
I don't know which strings to pull to get that. That would be great. I also saw, for example, Mizzou when they won Final Four last year. They also did like a shared Instagram post with the main Mizzou account. I think that would be good, but I guess what you just have to do is be good and win. So maybe if we win, we'll have a favor to ask. I think if we don't win, the chances will be quite slim. But it will be pretty fun. I saw that video of Yale. I texted Arthur about it. I thought it was a good video. It was nicely produced.
Well, I also saw Mizzou was able to have their team um, shown on the basketball court at halftime.
Hmm.
So maybe I know St. Louis is a big basketball school.
Hmm.
Um, Although I don't know if you guys made March Madness this year.
No, we did. We did not. We're not. Unfortunately, Mizzou beats us in basketball regularly, or they're just a bigger basketball school. But yeah, that was pretty cool for them. I wish we had done the same in 2022 back when we won. But yeah, maybe again, if we win this year, we'll have some favors to ask. We usually get rewarded pretty well uh, when we achieve stuff. So uh, once we achieve things, then we can ask for things, and then we'll see.
So yeah, you guys won the CCL championship, which not only do you get the title and bragging rights, especially against rivals Mizzou, and of course Bach can't hold it over your head for the rest of your life, but you also won $5,000 cash. And Bach mentioned during his commentary that you guys usually get rewarded with a fancy dinner. And I had to ask, what fancy dinner do you guys get that's worth $5,000?
Well, the reward for CCL is usually not a fancy dinner. It's usually just pizza,
Oh,
which is not much of a reward because we kind of do that pretty regularly. But it's nice. Still, we have a moment a week where we're all together with the entire team. I remember back in 2022 when we won the Pan Ams, and as like a kind of motivator for Final Four, we went to like a Brazilian steakhouse. That was pretty nice, but that was just all on like the coach's dime, I believe. So yeah, again, if we win things, we can ask for things. And we also, I remember 2022, we won and we got to go to a Blues game, for example. I see the calendar in your back. I'm sure you'd like that too. So yeah, that was pretty nice. And dinner, uh, it's whatever. Dinner's good, but winning is better.
was 2022 in Seattle?
No, 2022 was the Pan Am's was in Dallas, and then the Final Four was in Lubbock, Texas Tech. Seattle was 2023.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I went to DC. Uh yeah, I was into 2021 and then January. It's always in January. So yeah, 2022. I actually went there, and I was supposed to go in person to see, and I ended up getting sick, so I couldn't.
Uh,
I was
that's
supposed to help produce the broadcast for that. But then I did go in 2023 in Seattle, and then the year after that, I would believe it was in Texas near UTRGV.
yeah,
And then
that's
most recently, it was at Charlotte.
mhm.
Which Pan Am's venue has been your favorite so far?
Definitely Seattle. Because it was like in the city, a city I've never been to. I think also, we go there with the one goal of qualifying, and we did by some miracle. So that was a very big roller coaster of emotions. I could probably also say Dulles because we won, but I didn't really play that much because I was like an alternate at that time. So Seattle I really liked, was a good venue, good city, nice hotel. That's usually how we remember things, I guess.
I love that you say that you guys won by miracle, which is insane considering you even also just said that you were an alternate. I think any college team that has a grandmaster as an alternate is probably drowning from success. But maybe you can share some light on just how competitive the top universities are and how deep the rosters are.
Yeah. So we currently have six grandmasters. I will be leaving. But six grandmasters where you usually have a team of four players, shows how competitive it gets. I think the goal is to have a very stacked A team and then also a very stacked B team. That's how it used to be in when I first came 2019. Because I was board four on the B team. And I remember Webster qualified using their C team, which was also super strong. But yeah, it was pretty normal. Also now UTD also fields like an A team, B team, probably even a C team. UTRGV does the same, probably not as strong of a B team, but the the rosters go pretty deep. Yeah, so it does get pretty competitive. You have to be kind of lucky to get in. You have to know the right people, ask at the right time. And yeah, I would recommend it to a lot of people because I've been here for 6 years. Could have left after four, but stayed for the full six.
Nice. Yeah, I know Bach also. I believe he stayed around because he was actually part of the roster on the inaugural CCL season, which started in 2020, and so he's technically been on the roster all four times that SLU has won, and now he's missed out on your most recent championship, the leading fifth championship out of 10 seasons, which might be even more impressive considering that you guys haven't even played in all 10 of the seasons. But maybe you can give us some insights on what SLU's plans are after you graduate. Do you know who would be the next captain and if there's any future GMs going to maybe take your place?
Yeah, so did I think I was also part of that first team when we first won CCL. It was 2020, right? So
Okay, yeah.
I have
So
I do
maybe
kind of remember being back in the Netherlands playing for my childhood bedroom against Mizzou in the final.
uh,
So I think I was part of that too.
okay, then
Um,
yeah. So now you've surpassed Bach on number of championship titles.
yeah, that's what I mentioned after the CCL win on Saturday. So I'm hoping that was correct. Um, but yeah, who's going to be the next team captain? I don't know. Because after Benjamin left, it was pretty clear that I would be the captain because I've been here for so many years. Now we have, there's not that much. The seniority argument is not really a thing. I think Butserin has been here the longest. But I joked about this on Sunday. I don't really know who I'm gonna appoint as the new captain yet. I think I'll have to think about it, maybe discuss with Vor, and then we'll see. And of course, about new recruits, I don't think I can say anything about that.
Okay.
I think Var will get really really pissed at me.
Okay, so you guys already maybe have your eyes set on some potential recruits, but I guess we'll find out um, next season. But as far as captain goes, I could definitely recommend. You guys seem to have had some success with your B team captain, Matthew Pikus, who has also been on the College Chess podcast. That would be
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah, it would be. He is yeah, his name was also brought up during our lunch or during our pizza party, I should say, on Sunday after we won. So yeah. Um oh, by the way, I completely forgot, but we actually did kind of celebrate with more than just pizza. We ordered Cuban food from Talia Cervantes' mom's restaurant here in St. Louis. Great
Oh
food.
wow! Can we shout out the
Uh,
restaurant? Do you know the name?
it's Havana's cuisine in the Central West End. Great food.
Wow, I'll have to check
Uh,
it out.
you've never been? It's
No.
great. I
Um,
can't believe I completely forgot about this. This happened yesterday, 2 days ago. Days blend.
so when you say you got pizza, I'm gonna guess you probably didn't get Emo's pizza. Is that right?
No, no. Emos. I should probably have the new recruits try emos because it's a very St. Louis thing. But no, it was a normal American chain. I forget what it was exactly. Maybe Pizza Hut, maybe Domino's.
So, um, you've been in St. Louis for some time now. Do you have any like favorite spots or any favorite uh I don't know, St. Louis unique things?
I don't know. I was joking with my friends the other day that I've been here for so long, but I'm still like not at all a local. I don't know anything about the city actually. I always go to the same places. Every good restaurant that I know is either around SLU or around the Central West End near the chess club. I would recommend Little Saigon. That was kind of like our team spot if you went outside of the chess room. Great Vietnamese food, and you know we like our sushi sometimes too. We try to have some variance,
I know
variety.
Little Saigon is also a favorite of Eric Rosen, who I've
Uh,
gone with a few times.
hmm,
Um,
let's see.
but yeah, you're originally from the Netherlands. I have a viewer asking if you have a Georgian name, but you're Dutch.
Yeah,
Um,
so both of my parents are from Georgia. They moved to the Netherlands, but I was born and raised there. And then when I was 18, I finished school there. And when I was 18, I moved to St. Louis.
okay, and now that you're graduating, what are your plans?
It's a bit unclear. I'm trying to stay in the US. Still trying to combine chess somehow. Maybe staying in St. Louis, or I've also been working on my undergraduate, my bachelor's, my master's. So hopefully being able to use that would also be nice. But you know, until I have something concrete, it's still up in the air.
And what did
Yeah,
you
maybe I should. Sorry, maybe I should hit up the sponsors, Susquehanna. Maybe they have a place for me.
Yeah, well, you can definitely submit your resume. I'm sure they would be happy to take a look, and that gives me the perfect opportunity to actually showcase. They sent me some merch. So last season, I won a prediction challenge, and I got a pack of cards along with a water bottle, as well as I wanted to show off the hat that they sent me. They really hooked me up. And then also most recently, they actually sent me the shirt that I'm wearing. So
Nice.
shout out to
Sure.
Susquehanna. They sent me one last thing. And probably the coolest thing they sent is this plushie, which is very cute, very squishy, very soft. So
Interesting.
definitely shout out to Susquehanna. They've been super supportive of the Collegiate Chess League. They are the sponsor of not only the CCL but also the College Ambassador Program as well as this podcast. So I would definitely recommend checking them out. Robby, if you get a job there, that would be really cool.
I feel like that would be a great end to the story. But yeah, it's funny you showed those merch items because Benjamin also won a prediction challenge betting against us. Unbelievable. But he has the same items, so I've seen those before.
Yeah,
I
he
did.
He had the only perfect bracket out of like almost 600 people in Division 1, which was insane.
That is pretty insane. That
So
is,
it was well deserved by him, I'd say.
I would say so too. Yeah, I'd say so too.
But man, you guys were bet against by your former captain. And I think this season, did you fill out a prediction bracket?
I did, I did. I had, it was already wrong because I had SRM finishing third. But I think I did get the amount of points scored by the winner correct, but it kind of depends on how you count it because I think I had 18. We scored 8, but technically 11 in the semifinals and then 10 in the finals. So I don't know how that's counted.
Yeah, we
Um,
combined the two, so you guys ended up scoring a total of 21 points.
okay, so the playoffs or like the tiebreak also counts. Unfortunate.
Yeah, so I think SRM and technically I guess Lviv busted a lot of people's brackets. I had SRM beating Lviv, but
Hmm.
Lviv showed up big in their first appearance in Division 1, making it to the semifinals and cashing in fourth place. So congrats to them. And um, I kind of wanted to ask you something similar along those lines of how much the Collegiate Chess League has grown internationally. And I wanted to know what your experience is like, maybe traveling. Have you ever played, like, what's the craziest place that you've played internationally?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, uh, because I joined in 2019 and because COVID, we didn't really have any like extravagant travels with the chess team. I've been to cool places. I went to Qatar. That was not for I played the Qatar Open 2023. There was actually a collegiate tournament in China, like back in 2019, that we fielded a team to. That was really cool. But yeah, I'm also noticing the fact that collegiate chess league itself is growing. A lot more countries are joining, a lot more schools. It's great to see. I will say it's going to be tough for them if they have to, face off against universities that like focus on their chess team. So then it's going to be tough. But it's great to see a team like Lviv doing so well in their first season. They have very strong players. With a bit more luck, they could have, challenged for more. But the Americans have to show their dominance sometimes. In our collegiate chess league.
Well, you could argue the American schools are recruiting a lot from international chess federations, maybe yourself included. Um, I think actually the Netherlands joined the Collegiate Chess League for the first time. I believe it was University of Amsterdam joined this season.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Which division? Do you know?
it's like Division 12, I think.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Oh,
like
cool.
average of 1700 blitz or roughly.
Hmm.
Um, but they're also joining our ambassador program. You mentioned traveling to compete in China. China joined the CCL for the first time this season as well with Peking University, which is where Ho
Oh, wow.
Yifan teaches. So,
Okay, that's cool.
um, yeah, it's really cool how much it's grown. And tell us a little bit more about traveling to compete as a university chess team, because I know you guys obviously travel for Pan Am's and the President's Cup, but I didn't know you could go to places like China for university competition.
Yeah, that was a first time, and unfortunately also the last time. It was quite interesting because it was a rapid tournament for just 3 or 4 days. So I think we sent the team. I think Mizzou sent the team. But it was only 3 boards, so you had to send 2 guys and 1 girl. So at the time we sent Nicholas, Theodoru, Akshay Chandra, and Dorshani. I unfortunately couldn't go. But yeah, we don't get to travel as much for university competitions. But if we do have a competition or if we do have a tournament individually, you know, kind of part of the deal of the scholarship is that they'll try to help us play these tournaments and because we do pretty well as a chess team, professors are usually quite lenient with like, oh, okay, they're on the chess team. They'll be fine with their academics. They have to play chess. And that's worked out pretty well for me. I got to travel to pretty cool places. play a lot of tournaments.
Yeah, and obviously, if you don't get to travel, you're still in a chess hotbed in St. Louis. What has the chess culture been like here? Do you feel lucky that the St. Louis Chess Club is so involved in hosting so many great events pretty much year round?
Yeah, I mean, I of course have to be grateful of the St. Louis Chess Club because without them, without Rex, I would not even be here. There would be no reason for me to be here or no way for me to be here. And also being so close to the chess club and all the great tournaments and all the things that happen around it. 'Cause the chess club is only like a 20-minute walk or whatever. It's really great. We usually, because we're SLU students, we get to go to the opening ceremony, closing ceremony of whatever. And usually we have people even from the team competing, so they can even like help us, attend events. And that's just really cool. So then you're like footsteps away from the best players in the world.
Yeah, well, there's other scholarship schools like in Texas, for example, uh, but they don't have the same access to like the St. Louis Chess Club or any other St. Louis events like a student at St. Louis University or like Webster, for example. Even Mizzou is in Missouri,
Mhm.
but it's not really that close. They'd have to do quite a drive to get here, which I'm
Right.
sure they do pretty frequently, actually.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. We had the American Cup recently that was open for SLU students, Mizzou students, Webster students, and a bunch of Mizzou students made the drive. It's only like an hour and a half. I've learned for American standards, that's not that much.
An hour and a half drive through the Netherlands, would you go from one side to the other?
Basically, yeah. Where I'm from, if I drive an hour and a half south, I'm in a different country. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite different. But after 6 years, you kind of get used to how things work here.
Do you have a driver's license?
Soon, soon.
What are you taking
It's
your test or something?
uh yeah, as I said, I can't be I don't really need a car here because everything's walking distance. Everything that I need is walking distance. The chess club. And I've also made friends with some students here and they have cars. No need for me
Nice.
to get a car.
True. Um,
Hmm.
it's nice to have friends, and I feel like the chess community is so supportive and so connected. Have you felt like you could pretty much choose any city in the world, and you'd have like a chess friend that you could meet up with or help you out?
I guess so. I guess you over the years, especially because I played as like when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. I played all these youth and world youth event, European youth, world youth events. You have acquaintances everywhere. I don't think it would be that easy. I think if I pull up to a random country, nobody would be that willing to, you know, hang out with me that much. But yeah, definitely I have like friends over the world. Also, friends that I make here that are also, not from the US. They go back, and I feel like if I ever needed to, go anywhere, I could like they could help me out, and I could help them out. That's the nice part.
I know you were helping a friend move earlier today. Are they involved in chess at all?
Um, Everybody's getting involved in chess nowadays, right?
Well, chess has
uh,
been kind of going viral. We have PogChamps coming up again, and I saw actually there was like a viral post on Instagram of this guy. I was shocked that the person in front of them was like 2,000 rated, and I saw it because I think you left a comment on that. Do you remember that?
yes, definitely. I always try if I see any videos on Instagram or TikTok, I try to just drop that I'm a grandmaster. So I get some likes, I get some followers, and then that's what I do once in a while, just to keep it fun, because I
Maybe
don't post that much myself. It's fun to kind of like drop that sometimes.
should I shout out your Instagram?
Oh yeah, you should. Uh, do you know what it is, or should I say it?
You should. I'm gonna look at. I see it now. I'm gonna link it in the chat so people can follow you. But
Thank you.
feel free to shout it out.
Yeah, it's underscore yeah, underscore Robby Kev, ROBBY KEV. Because
Wow. Look at that.
the
The first post, you got that pizza that you're celebrating with.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we went to New York. I completely forgot to mention New York in our travels. Yeah, we went to New York.
That's
You
my
know,
pizza.
yeah, Joe's Pizza. Thanks. It was a great pizza.
Yeah, were you in New York for World Rapid and Blitz, or was that for something else?
It was real rapping blitz. You know, of course, it was great that we could play. I've played World Rap Blitz one time, 2018. It was in St. Petersburg, and I really like Blitz specifically. And also this year in New York, I did very well. I got to play Hikaru. I drew him. I beat MVL. Drew Grishuk. Got to play like Eri Geisi, Abdusatorov, Mamajarov. I got to play a whole bunch of strong players, so that was really awesome.
Wow, yeah, you don't really get that many opportunities to do that except maybe in Title Tuesday every week.
Exactly. Yeah.
But okay, Bach went and played too, right? Was that the one he drew against Magnus?
Yeah, with that viral video where Magnus blundered a draw and then like jumped off his chair laughing. That was there. Benjamin did really well, actually. Yeah, kudos to him. Wish I did. I wish I did as good, but you know,
Well, obviously getting to play against Hikaru and getting results is nothing to um, not brag about really, but obviously you and Bach are still relatively close. You're both in St. Louis. What's up with Theodoro these days? Where's he at?
he he finished his masters. He also did the full 6 years at SLU. He finished his masters. He's now in Greece. You know, being a chess professional. I think that's going pretty well for him. I'm sure, though, you know, because he has such good connections with the St. Lucia's Club, I'm sure he will be back for a random tournament here and there.
Maybe be the Grandmaster in residency.
Yeah, maybe that too if he wants. I'm sure he could. That's also really great about the St. Louis Chess Club. There are so many grandmasters that you sometimes have to join a wait list to even do that. But yeah, that's really nice to be the GM in res. I've never done it myself, but maybe one day, hopefully.
You're just a GM in residence. You're not the GM in residence, but I'm sure one of these days. Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, it's crazy how many there are here. And I also wanted to shout out Charlotte is another big chess hub here in the US, and they hosted the most recent Pan Ams. How was that experience? Was that your first time at Charlotte?
No, so actually my very first Pan Ams was in 2019, and it was also in Charlotte. And then, you know, Charlotte is also very big with their open tournaments. They had US Masters that I played, I think, twice, three times, twice, I believe. And then there was one time they had the Charlotte Open back in 2021. So yeah, I've been there many times. Charlotte, yeah, of course, unfortunately, during chess tournaments, you don't really get to see the city. But from what I understand, Charlotte is a great city with very good chess culture. You know, so many strong players that live there, Bordnik, Danya Naroditsky. So yeah, and also they also work really well with teaching and getting the kids involved. So I think that's really good. But yeah, the last Panems was probably my favorite experience there because I hadn't been there in a while, and then it also went pretty well. So nothing to complain.
Yeah, so your first time was your first Pan Am, so that's kind of funny. Your first and your last Pan Ams were both at Charlotte. How much has the chess club and culture grown between those two events?
I've actually never been to the Charlotte Chess Club, so I wouldn't know. I also feel like back when I first joined, I was just focused on my own chess, and I was not really looking around me as much. I think now I'm a bit more, I look at the world a bit more. But I see also social media just has like been has exploded, so you see how active they are with all their stuff, and it's good to see. So I'm sure like very big increase should be the correct answer.
That leads me to my next question. I know a lot of Robby Kevlishvili fans out there are dying to know when are you gonna start streaming?
I think I missed the boat.
Yeah,
I
that's not
probably
true.
should have done that earlier. I'm sure there's always a moment to come back in. I don't know. Maybe one day. I I feel like if I would start streaming, it would be not just chess related. It would be like, me, and not me, the chess player. If that makes sense.
Okay, you do
Uh,
some other content.
no, I mean, I feel like I would just be like, I always thought it would be cool to be like a vlogger type thing and just kind of show what I do in a day. Not that I do anything crazy, so that's why I never really did it. But just I think it's good to be a bit of a jack of all trades, kind of do more things than people would expect, or maybe, um, you know, on the surface, people might think I'm just a chess player, which I probably am, but I like to do different things too. I like to learn about different things, so I think that makes life interesting.
What's your favorite non-chess related hobby?
Mm, probably it's either tennis, that even though I'm really bad at it, and you can not really play it in St. Louis half the time, or boxing. I've been picking up boxing. It's really nice.
Oh
I was
wow.
hoping to get on one of those chess boxing cards, but that never. I think I also joined that too late, so maybe that's just what I have to work on.
Well, chess boxing I think is still a growing area. Who do you think you could take on in a chess box? Who would you be most excited to fight?
Well, if you actually go down the rabbit hole of my Twitter, which is not that down of big of a rabbit hole because I never really tweet anything. I called out Lawrence Trent back in the day. I think it's been like
Was
a year and a
that
half ago.
was that pre Amon Hamilton or post Amon
It was
Hamilton?
no, it was post because I was told that Amon is not fighting anymore. But you know, uh, that's definitely something I would be interested in. So if anybody's ever doing another card, uh, hit me up.
All right, we're gonna have to clip that. So people heard it here first. Robbie's looking for his next opponent. Um, all right. Would you think you could take on Benjamin Bach in chess boxing?
I feel like I could. He has the height advantage. Maybe I have the speed advantage. You know, but it
You
will be weird. Punching a friend. I don't know. I don't think he'd be down for that.
well, Andrea and Dina fought, and they're good friends.
Were they good friends even before they fought?
I'm
I
sure.
I I genuinely don't know. But yeah, no, they had a good fight. I watched it back. No, that was interesting. What happened there? And they both got didn't they both win?
Yeah, they
So
were
it's not
both
like the
awarded
verdict
the
or something.
win. I think technically Andrea should have knocked out Dina before she got checkmated, but the refs didn't count it. So then once they got back to the board, Andrea got mated. So Dina was awarded the win live, and then Andrea got awarded the win after the fact. So they ended up just sharing the win. They were both winners, which I think
Nice.
is a fun result. I was there live. Did you go to that or no?
No, no. I was back in St. Louis. I think at the time I didn't even think it was that cool. So I was like out of principle now watching it.
Wait,
Um,
so after that event, that's when you got into boxing?
I think I also really like watching UFC and stuff. So I think that's been brewing for a while. I don't know when. I actually don't remember when I first started. It might have been like it was definitely after that event. Um, but yeah, I don't want to give too much credit to the chess boxing event. I don't think that's what really set me over the edge to start boxing too. Um, but yeah, no, good event, fun to watch. Uh, of course, it's a bit funny to see all the mistakes in chess. That was probably the most exciting for me, to be honest.
It's yeah. There's obviously besides Amon and Lawrence and Andrea and Dina, there's a lot of chess at an amateur level you would consider. We have a comment here in chat. I don't know if you know who this is. Wacky Hill. Have you heard of that username?
No.
It's Andy Woodward. Andy
Oh,
W. He said
Andy.
he's saying hi.
Oh, hey, Andy.
I think I've seen
So
Andy play Danya a lot recently online.
yeah, I'm trying to get to the same rating on chess.com as Andy. And he crossed 3,200 even before I crossed 3,100. So I gotta do better, I guess.
Yeah, what do you have to say about the emerging youth and the talent? I don't know, how does it feel now that you're graduating college, like after 6 years at SLU, and you see like maybe the new upcoming freshmen coming in, or people like Andy who have these crazy ratings online? Do you feel
Mhm.
like you're getting old now?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm getting old. Especially as a sixth year on a university campus, you feel kind of old. And also in the chess world, you kind of feel old. If you play any random open in the US, you're surrounded by the slew of talented kids. I think I'm still holding my own against them, even though Tani did beat me in New York. But that was just rapid, so it doesn't really count. I think overall, I'm still holding my own.
Tani also an amazing talent. I think Tani would also be great at streaming. Um,
I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, he seems like he's got a good camera presence from what I've seen in different various clips of him playing like at the park against certain content creators. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, do you have a favorite content creator that you watch?
Chess related or
Sure,
chess related? Well, of course, I have to shout out Benjamin.
of
Uh,
course.
Of course, of course. But I always, if I have friends that tell me that ask me who should I watch on YouTube, I always tell them Gotham Chess, even though that's like a boring answer.
Gotham.
I
Well,
know, I know.
there's a
But
reason.
then I also add that they should watch the video where he did a recap where I beat him. So
Oh,
that's kind of like my segue into that. But no, I don't really have a favorite YouTuber I watch. I don't really subscribe to channels if that makes sense. I just kind of see what pops up and I kind of watch it if it sounds cool.
well, that's very nice of you to make sure to point some viewers towards Gotham's channel to help his stats. Um, yeah, you think Andy should start streaming?
Yeah, but isn't Andy like I see Andy from time to time. I always joke that he's like 12 years old, even though he's like I don't know, maybe 14. I actually don't know, maybe 15. I think streaming he should probably focus more on actual playing, and then when he gets a bit older, maybe he can integrate the streaming as well. Also, got to shout out Hans. Even though he's not uploading as much on YouTube, always very fun to watch his videos. Very a lot of emotion. I think that's good to watch. Yeah. Besides that, uh, I think Andy and all the young kids, Connie, even Alice, I think they should all really buckle down on playing and then kind of see how far that gets them.
That's a good advice from an elder.
Of course, yeah.
Um, okay, one of my last questions here. Um, I recently saw Magnus and Fabi actually streamed, and they were going over some of their world championship games. I believe they're both signed to one of the esports orgs. Maybe, I mean, I don't want to necessarily just spit out the wrong information, so this could be wrong, but I'm just going off the top of my head here. I think it's like Team Liquid, maybe.
Right. Yeah, I think
Um,
so too.
what are your thoughts on chess joining like this esports world championship, and have you considered trying to get involved in any capacity?
I think that's really cool, but I think it's nowadays mainly a thing because chess is joining the World Cup, I believe. As you can maybe tell, I'm not too versed on it. But I do remember seeing the Pro Chess League like in real life finals, and I thought that was really cool. And also to bring back another point, when you were in Seattle, you and I actually met in an elevator, but we had never met, so we didn't know who we were, who each of us were. And then I learned that you were the guy from CCL. And then I think that one of the first things I told you, and I think also another time I told you we should have like an in-person finals for CCL. Because I thought that was really great to watch. So I assume that's what the Esports World Cup is going to look like. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember that. I definitely recognized who you were, and I also remember you advocating for the in-person finals. That's obviously something that I would love to see as well. And you mentioned the Pro Chess League in-person finals. That was 2019 in San Francisco.
Right? Yeah.
So I remember Bach was there because he was playing right on the St.
The
Louis Archbishops
Archbishops.
team,
Yes.
along with maybe another teammate of yours, uh,
I, th- I
JJ.
think JJ was playing. Yeah, it could be like so long ago.
JJ was
I don't
definitely
remember.
there. I guess so. You were there too.
I was not there.
Oh
No,
no. Okay.
I was new to St. Louis, so I was not integrated into the Archbishops yet.
Okay. Okay. Wait, did you ever end
Again,
up playing?
I joined. I joined too late, so I never got to play for them.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, then we did meet in Seattle because I was gonna say if you went to 2019, then I probably would have seen you there as well.
Hmm.
Um, well, yeah, that was actually that was a crucial moment in the timeline history of the Collegiate Chess League because that format of the Pro Chess League was what inspired me. That Pro Chess League finals is where I met Danny Wrench and
Hmm.
also Christian Carilla, who is the coach of the Mizzou team. And I really pitched the Collegiate Chess League idea to them, like on the spot. And
Hmm.
Mizzou has been part of the CCL every single season, so a huge shout out to them. Despite their second place finish this season, um,
Hmm.
but yeah, also a huge shout out to Danny and Chess.com who got me a job running the CCL.
Hmm.
So that's a great kind of full circle moment. Robby's been interweaved in all of this from the very
Hmm.
beginning, and now we're in the same city. We got to meet up, and I'll maybe help introduce your freshman to the wonders of Emo's Pizza.
Hmm. Yeah, sounds good. You're always welcome on the SWU campus. Just text me, and then you'll know when we have a training. You can see one of our trainings. But yeah, we'll see each other in Dallas too. Um, Maybe we'll even have the same flight or the same flight back. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I would love to see you guys get some wins. We'll definitely keep an eye out on your matches, Robbie. And for anyone that wants to follow along, we'll be streaming it on the CCL Twitch channel live this Saturday, April 5th, I believe at 10 a.m. Central Time. That's 11 Eastern. And I'm looking forward to it, Robbie. Best of luck to you. You guys have a great team, and I assume this is going to be your last tournament as a SLU player.
Yeah, I'm graduating in May, with my master's. So then my college career is over. So also my SLU chess career will be over. So hopefully I can end it in a nice way with a
Well,
nice.
that's not necessarily true. I believe you have Darius Swiertz as a coach now, as one of your coaches. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the our assistant coach.
Well, he was part of that inaugural CCL season and championship team. I believe
Hmm.
he played in that match against Mizzou in the finals.
He honestly might have been. I honestly don't
It's
remember. And I think even in preparation of this, I wanted to like look back if I could like find anything.
Do you want me
I
to
couldn't find it.
I'm pretty confident he was on that roster.
Yeah, I'm sure back then we were all like, oh, everybody has to play like one game at least. As like, just kind of even because there were no prizes, so I think there was not as much. People didn't really want to play as much as
All
they do
right.
now.
You want me to name off the lineups from this?
Maybe just the final lineup. That would
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah. So this was the very first season's grand finale. Mizzou had Oparin, Gordievsky, Chris Repka, and their board four was Begin.
Mhm.
SLU, their top board, you want to guess?
Was it Darius or was it
It was an
Platov?
international master.
No, then it was Nicholas.
It was Theodoro, yes.
Yeah,
And
Nicholas.
then it was Darrow,
Hmm.
Swiertz. Then it was Rombaldi, and then it was JJ.
Okay.
And then
Then I guess I did not play in the final, but I
well,
played. I must have played some other point.
neither did
Season.
Bach, but you guys were on the roster.
Okay, good. So at least that was not wrong. Maybe we played them in the preseason or something like that. I don't know what the format was back then.
There it was double elimination at that point. So technically the finals was a rematch between SLU and Mizzou, and you guys beat them both
Hmm,
times.
I see. That was a good format then. Well, maybe not. Uh, I don't know. Did I play that? Did I play in the first final then, or did we have to play the same team in the same final?
So double elimination,
Right.
you have to beat the team twice. You guys probably
Right.
beat them in the winners bracket finals, and then
Hmm.
they went to the losers bracket where they then won the loser bracket finals to get back to face you in the grand finals.
Right.
So here's a fun fact, something that I'm personally proud of as a hint. What team did Mizzou have to beat in the loser bracket finals to make it back to the grand finals?
An obvious guess would be like UTD or something, but maybe because you're asking me it was UCLA.
It was.
Yeah. Okay.
And that happened on the
Did,
same day as the grand finals. That UCLA team
uh,
actually had someone that was in the chat earlier. I don't know if he stuck around, but it's Dr. J Law, who used to stream a bit more, but now has started a family and a real life
uh,
really with a job
yeah.
as a doctor. But he was a FIDE, he's still a FIDE master, but he was on that UCLA team during his MD PhD.
No. Well.
So shout out to him. That UCLA team was stacked. It had international master Michael Kleiman. Uh, it had Luke Lee, who is also an IM, and it had another title player. Um, I think there was a guy named Jeremy. They had a national master at Unshul. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. I
But
was gonna
yeah,
say maybe you played on the team, but I guess not.
no. I had already graduated.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that team beat Harvard. It also beat Princeton with Andrew Tang, and Harvard
Hmm.
had I think uh, Aaron Jacobson at the time. Uh, anyways, I'm gonna let you go, Robby. This has been a lot of fun, and I could talk, college chess all day, but maybe
Of
I'll
course.
save it for this weekend at the President's Cup. We will be having player and coach interviews, so maybe we'll see Robby back. But if not, we'll definitely be tuning into your games. So best of luck. You've got 3 games ahead of you, assuming you play all 3 rounds. And like we said, this could be your very last match as a SLU chess player. But maybe they'll have you back as a coach at some point. So you've got a bright future ahead of you, Robby. Congrats again on winning the championship last weekend. And I'll let you get going and get some rest before your travels and your competition this weekend.
I appreciate it, Joe. I'll see you this weekend, and thanks.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. This was the last podcast episode of the season. And be sure to tune in this weekend. We've got the President's Cup coming up. We'll see you all then.